Yo, what is up guys, Jerome here, and today we are talking about the 5 things you need to do first in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Now, it's very important you follow everything in this guide, because if you do, you'll be able to go into Gnomeregan and full clear the first week. That's going to give you a huge gear advantage. It's going to snowball into things like the Gurabashi Arena, the Blood Moon event, and of course, gold making. We all have a friend that made hundreds of gold getting the BFD recipes very early on. This phase, that can be you, as long as you follow this 5-step guide, so let's get right to it. So first, let's talk goals. Our biggest goal for the first week is to complete a full clear of Gnomeregan, every single boss. And sure, Blizzard is giving us an entire week for the initial lockout, and they say the raid's going to be really easy. But we still know there's going to be at least one boss that's just a brick wall and it destroys unprepared groups. The single worst thing you need to avoid is failing to full clear, since you'll miss out on epic loot that may not drop the rest of the phase. On top of that, there are very important gold making, profession, gear farming strategies related to the raid that we need to max out as quickly as we can. And of course, we don't want to miss out on achieving maximum rewards in the PvP event so we can farm as many gnomes as possible. So the first thing we need to do is hit level 40 as quickly as humanly possible. Nearly everybody is planning on doing a dungeon cleave group, and this Phase 2 spreadsheet's going to be a huge help. We can only hope you have a stack of 20 quests and a bunch of extra items to turn in to jump to level 28. My group plans to blast a BFD clear afterwards, which has leaked to be about 23,000 experience. It's very possible that number will go up though, so we'll have to wait and see. Then we'll be hitting RFK lockouts in Scarlet Monastery to hit level 40 while completely avoiding ganks. And of course, we're going to be fully world buffed and consumed the entire time with tons of engineering mats and stacks of mana pots. The first groups to hit level 40 will be within 10 hours, but you really shouldn't be that far behind as long as you have a dedicated group. During the early portion of the leveling process, I plan to quickly push my engineering high enough to get key items like the advanced target dummies for leveling. Since my inventory will be full of pre-questing materials, I'll be mailing all the engineering mats for items like explosive sheep from my ult. I've farmed several hundred solid stone as well using the underrated party loot exploit. As long as you're in a group, you can just do 1 point of damage to the rock elementals and get the full loot. I plan to use that stone for solid dynamite as well as new explosives coming in the raid itself. I'll also be instantly getting 225 cooking in around 10 minutes. That'll give me access to Sagefish Delight for 6 MP5 at level 30. Plus, you'll be able to roll the 12 Spirit, 12 Stamina food immediately at level 40. As I'm leveling, I'll also be doing 2 very key things related to Prebis. The first thing I'll be doing is hitting up all my contacts for crafted gear. Blizzard has massively updated the stats of most crafted BOEs and dungeon drops as well. The Long Silken Cloak, for example, is going to be a really nice Prebis pickup. Perfect for my Shadow Priest ever since they added 7 spell power to it. And while before I never would have touched it, the Earthen Silk Belt is now a huge upgrade with 18 healing power. You've got to hit up 60 upgrades right now to check all the crafted gear you can grab that are instant upgrades over your current gear. The second thing I'll be doing is updating my gear as I play. I've actually already pre-bought most of the Warsong gear in advance. You can get a free ring upgrade at 28 as well as a Prebis level 38 ring, new cloaks, new weapons, absolutely worth swapping in while you level. So while we're talking Prebis, if you have any runes that seem like they're going to be a big help in Gnomeregan, this would be a good time to get them as well. A lot of these runes are going to be unknown the first day. You've got to make a very tough judgment call on whether you go into Gnomeregan with the runes or without. If you go in with the runes, you're going to be significantly increasing your chances of success. But at the same time, you're going to be falling behind on the gold making and the PvP aspects as well. Alright, so now we've gotten our leveling done in 10 to 15 hours, we've got our professions maxed. We've also gotten all our new crafted Prebis gear, we bought our PvP gear, it's time to head to Gnomeregan. The most important thing by far is to maximize your chances of getting a full clear. We have an entire week to clear the raid, but if you go in too quickly with a pug and disband, you've just lost your lockout. That happened to me on my first lockout of BFD, and who knows if we lost out on an epic staff that we'll never see again. To maximize our success, we really want to go in with a full stack of fire protection potions as well as nature protection potions. We also definitely want the new greater mana potions on all our casters, and of course the new 12/12 bis stamina food. You can check my full consumable guide on the top right to get a full list of everything you'll need. We also want to make sure everybody in our raid has a lot of time to commit to the raid. I would say a minimum of 4 to 5 hours. If somebody leaves mid-raid, it's going to be nearly impossible to replace them. But because we're clearing the raid early, we're going to be maximizing our chances of getting epics every single lockout. We'll also be able to get new patterns for engineering and tailoring and enchanting and every other profession. I know a guildmate that made over 100 gold from the BFD weapon oils the first day. You've got to think about this being a window to maximize your profit just in that first couple days after the raid clear. So you've really got to maximize your chances of getting those recipes and all the epics. Then you can head straight to STV to get started with that gnome slaughter for the Blood Moon event. In the Blood Moon event, there's going to be new weapons, new rings, new trinkets, tons of rewards from the event. The earlier you get started, the more you can exploit whatever they end up breaking in this system, similar to Ashen Vale. And of course, the earlier you can hit up Gurabashi Arena so you can get that Arena Grandmaster. That is going to be absolutely huge for guaranteeing all sorts of early dueling tournament wins. But even if you don't get that day 1 Gnomeregan clear, you don't make the millions of gold, you don't get the Arena Grandmaster, it's okay. The most important thing in Phase 2 is to have as much fun as possible. Yes, I have a lot of plans of things I want to do, but they might be completely derailed by being in the queue for like 6 hours. Even if things don't go to plan, we can still have an absolute blast in the phase. It's really okay if you just want to chill and explore and get runes at your own pace. It's also more than okay if you want to subscribe and like the video, because my Gnomeregan boss guide is coming out this Saturday. That video is going to be great, but in the meantime, check out my 5-minute prep guide to be as prepared as possible and make sure you don't miss anything.